traveler. What are you doing here? A day off? That's wonderful. I'm sure you don't get many of those. What am I doing here? Well, I guess the same thing as you. Yeah, about that. Albedo assigned a task to me and it took much longer than expected. There were some delays that were out of our control, and we had trouble gathering an adequate amount of supplies. The extension of this experiment made the whole thing drag, and because of that, I wasn't paying very close attention to my sleeping habits. So, day after day, I had more trouble focusing, but didn't want to push any extra responsibility on Mr. Albedo, and I ended up miscalculating an equation while mixing some chemical components and, well, caused a sizable explosion. Oh no, please don't worry. He was very understanding and gave me an order to take the next few days off. I don't venture out often, so I figured if I wasn't allowed to study or experiment, I might as well brush up on my reading. I'm still looking through the titles available, but I'm having some trouble deciding. I could look at what we've related about chemical components of local flora, but we've already read about that. Do you have any books that you might recommend? Well, I just figured since you were here, maybe you can, you came with a book in mind. I see. Well, if it's not too much of bother, would you mind if I wandered with you? I'm sure I'll find something just by exploring some different sections. Precisely. I'm not sure what genre of books you customarily check out, but I'm sure whatever you choose will be wonderful. But please, take the lead. I'll follow diligently behind. Oh, this is an interesting one. Molecular biochemistry. Oh, and it's a 3-part series. How exciting! Oh, does biochemistry not excite you? That's okay. I can find something else. I'm sure they have something you would enjoy here. Let's see. They have, molecules, nature's building blocks, or, how about the Mondstadt molecular study from last year? No, that would be silly. I'm sorry. I'm not usually out this long without anything to be learning hands-on with. I suppose I'm just getting finicky now. I apologize. How about this? I'll let you pick a book and maybe the both of us could read it together? Exactly, like a book club. And you can choose whichever book catches your eye. Oh, well, I suppose it doesn't have to be a science nonfiction book or a study material. Do those topics not interest you? I see. That's an odd concept for me. Science is in my blood. Well, cells are technically in my blood, but you understand. It's a large part of my life, so I'd like to find something in that could bring some joy to you. But I'll go ahead and mark that in my memory for a different day. Today, I trust that you'll find what will keep us entertained. Over there? Lead the way. That one? No? I suppose this is a bit suspenseful for me. I'm not often in this section. This is where they keep the fiction titles and poetry. Are you a fan of those? Really? I'll have to keep that in mind. Sometimes, when I'm out exploring and gathering supplies, I find traveling merchants or just people that live in less populated areas, and they have some interesting things. I've actually had a merchant have small poem notebooks filled with poems that he's written. I didn't get it at the time, but if that's something you'd enjoy, perhaps I'll see if he still has it available. Oh no, it's no trouble at all. If I can find something small that would make you happy, I would do it in a heartbeat. You're such an important part of my life, it's the least I can do. I'm sorry. That wasn't very appropriate of me. You found a book? I see. Which did you decide on? Ballads of the Squire. I can't say I've ever read this. Have you? So it'll be fresh and new for the both of us. Very adventurous, as always. Do they have a second copy? Well, if it's okay with you, we could always share. Does that sound okay? Wonderful. Let's go take a seat over there. Is this space okay? All right. And did you want to take turns reading? Or I could read it, or you could, or whichever you would prefer. I certainly can. I will need to slightly move the book so I can see a bit better. Is that all right? All right. Ballads of the Squire. Down every street in Mondstadt I have strolled. The air was filled with the stench of misery and the buzz of revelry. I saw the most arrogant of aristocrats, and saw the most pitiful of the impoverished. At night, these streets are a spider's web, some here to feast, others their eternal prey. I hear a jangling in the night, and know it is the chains that fetter the souls of the oppressed. I patrol the streets of Mondstadt at night time, where my peers and superiors would once declare, "We are the starlit knights. Lift thy heads and bear witness. For we, who raise our flag in the splendor of starlight, are the true protectors of Mondstadt." But not once have I lifted my head to the stars, or gazed at our flag, for I cannot shift my focus from the filthy street corners. Destitute peddlers weep in silence, aging soldiers grimace in pain. In the deathly stillness of night, a young girl, rejected by the aristocracy, pleads for Barbados mercy. The sighing of mournful winds rattles the cathedral gate, carrying within them the grief of the oppressed. They assault splendid palatial walls. Each mother's call, each infant's cry, enough to dent the hardest of shields, enough to shatter the sharpest of swords. Sounds of sorrow send shivers down my spine, but in the palace and in the castle, though the wind blows the same over holy ground, they are but the sighs of ants to the ears of men. Wow, I think though it's different from what I normally read, that was quite nice. What did you think? You're absolutely right. The way the tale was told really paints a picture. I think that this author is very talented. Are there any more parts in the series? That's wonderful. Oh, you grabbed it as well? It seems you were very confident in the idea that I would enjoy this book. That was a solid hypothesis. Did you want me to read this one as well? I'd be more than happy to. Will do. One day, at the crack of dawn, a dancer whose sword was her song set foot in Mondstadt. Though clad in chains with cuffed hands and fettered feet, In her silence lay a song. It was the song of freedom, a song of a brighter dawn beyond the walls. A joyous ballad, sung without reservation by a people unrestrained. She was the dawnlight of the wanderer's troop, but she spelled eternal midnight for the aristocracy. I once asked her, "Why do you come to overthrow our aristocrats? Do you not know that they were the first among us? Wherefore do you place their lives on a pedestal?" Came her voice like a fresh breeze. If you claim to know the wind is your companion, then did you not once know freedom too? To her lonesome listeners, she told a tale. A tale of our rulers, better ancestors who held divine power. A tale of angels, gods, and vile dragons. A tale of the deities and people of all the land. Each myth and legend she turned to song, and the wind carried the song to all corners of the land. In the aristocrat's arena, her sword sang once more, her final masterpiece, but it stopped short of perfection. A nameless knight retrieved her sword from the blood-soaked battlefield and buried it where the gentle winds meet in communion. My, this one was much more sad. I suppose not every story can have a cheerful ending. Oh no, that doesn't mean I dislike it. I love how fluid the vocabulary is. It's very emotional, very detailed. I think you made some wonderful selections. Oh? 2 more books? I'm glad you enjoy literature to such an extent. I could spend all day here if not for my usual work. I think you also make it much more comforting. Without you here, I'm afraid I might have already started itching to go back to my lab. Now, what are these 2? The Legend of Vanessa. That sounds interesting enough. Should I read again? Of course. Ahem. The Legend of Vanessa. A popular song since the reconstruction of Mondstadt, it tells the story of Vanessa, the founder of the Knights of Favonius, in her early years as a slave in Mondstadt. Friends of Mondstadt, let us revel, drink to your heart's content, to freedom, to the Animal Archon, to Vanessa, the first knight to grace this world. Sons and daughters of Mondstadt, may the gift from the Animal Archon be engraved in your hearts, and let it be known that this gift is not freedom, but just defiance. It transpired in ages past. Friends, do excuse me for improvising, for it should be clear as day that the glory and freedom of Mondstadt were born when Barbados struck the strings dolce. Poems sing of heroic fame, yet to commemorate unnamed freedom should they aim. Chained by royals, Mondstadt could barely suspire, and festivities were but vanity games of the rich. Beyond the grasp of the ordinary people, a withering dungeon Mondstadt was. In slavery games the royal gaily relished. Oblivious to their place, the inmates were. A fiery-headed dame confined to a cell. From the southern plains she did hail, born free but now bound by chains. Though restrained by a tyrant her flesh remained. Still, her pious soul never ceased to pray for her people, for Mondstadt, for elusive freedom, if she may. Wow, I'd never taken the time to read about the first Mondstadt knight. I'm sure Grandmaster Jean would very much enjoy this. I think that it was a very well-told story. Again, the author really put their talents and dedication into writing this. And there's a second part of this one as well? All right, let me take a look. Friends of Mondstadt, let us revel, drink to your heart's content. The day came when Barbados answered her devotion. The Animal Archon sought her fiery hair and descended to her position. Every being deserves a name, the spirit grinned. To weave your fair name into a song, I yearn. I seek nothing but your friendship in return. The girl happily reciprocated, her fears swiftly dissipated. And so, to the battlefield she marched, to Barbados' singing voice. The demonic dragon fled from her might, and the people did rejoice. Corpulent aristocrats crawled under tables at such a valiant sight. Mondstadt is freedom! The winds sang for their people in delight. Lonely forest breezes converged. Jointly they overthrew the tyrant's tower from the sky. Broken free from shackles at last, the young lioness stood firm in the winds with her head held high. And so the fiery-headed dame won herself prestigious fame. Her heart swelled with appreciation to sing by the animal Archon's side. But no words of gratitude should she utter. Barbados replied, "You first conducted what now transpires in your song. You have entrusted me with your friendship and your name. To praise your freedom, my songs came. Friends, let us drink some more, for thence flows the freedom of Mondstadt. When days become nights and faces filled with despair, never forget the heroic tales of Vanessa, the dame with the flaming hair. Never cease to pursue freedom, even when the land is bare." Wow, what an inspiring series. Not only is it well written, but the fact that it's a true story is remarkable. Did you enjoy your time here? Well, I'm glad. I had a lot of fun. I'm glad I took the day off. Now I'm just not really sure what to fill it with. I'm sure you're not going to stay here all day. Of course. Well, I should be heading out. Again, I'm very thankful that you stayed here with me and read. I think we should do it again sometime. Really? You think so? Oh, wow. You're such a good friend. Anyway, I should be going. Thank you so much for staying with me. Bye-bye. Hey guys, this is GentleGF. Thank you so much for watching this video. Also, thank you to everyone who participated in the poll that was put up. I tried to do something that everyone will like, so I decided to do another Sucrose audio and read of some of the books that can be found in the game. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, if you liked this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe. You can also follow me on Twitter and send me a coffee. Both links are in the description. So again, thank you so much. Mwah!